Hello, everyone from Warwick, New York, where, as you can see, I am not out in the field. We are holed up in a hotel or motel room um, because it's raining outside, and it has been for 2 straight days. Yesterday, we got caught in the rain, and what turned into one day turned into a zero. But anyway, that's a story for week 17, and we are going to talk about week 16 on the trail. Of our little journey. So let's get into it. We started at Elkville Shelter, a mile 1232.6, and we ended up, and I'm going to get this wrong, at Mashipakong Shelter at 1330.8, giving us 98.2 miles for the week. The week covers July 5th through July 11th. Let's break down the expenses, and then we'll talk about our milestones and get to your questions. So we spent $183 in accommodations. Like I said, we did spend a zero. We were initially only going to do like a Nero into town, but we were so tired of the Pennsylvania rocks, we decided to throw in a 20-mile day instead of doing a 15 and a 5, and just get it over with. We were meeting a friend in town, and so we arrived a day early, and we took an extra day off. So that was a little bit more expensive, but we got through the rocks and had a day to rest our feet. Let me tell you something a little bit about where we stayed. I'm really hesitant to talk negatively about hostels, mainly because I realize that I have a negative bias on communal living places, and I typically don't like them regardless of the vibe. But there's always something nice about them. Usually it's the hostel owner who has a great personality and is very accommodating. There is the camaraderie of hanging out with people, but today's version of seeing how many people you can fit in a Volkswagen Bug is the hostel, and I just hate it. So I don't talk negatively. I talk negatively about one way in the very beginning because it was nasty. And even though it was a place full of tradition, I can't believe people stay there. Anyway, I will, however, talk negatively about hotels and motels because they're a little bit different story. They should be run better, I think. So there's a place in Delaware Water Gap where we stayed, and it's called the Pocono Hotel. The emphasis should be on the last syllable. No, do not stay at the Pocono. I'll post a picture here real quick that I took and post it on my personal Facebook page. And I thought the twins from Stephen King's The Shining were going to materialize. It was just a creepy motel. It was expensive too because we changed our reservations from a weekday to a weekend. The rate went from $70 to $90, and we get there, and this place used to be huge, and you could tell it was a big, huge conference center, but it looked very much like it hadn't been used in years, and it felt like we were the only people in this gigantic hotel. And it was just kind of nasty. I will say some good things about it. The water pressure was great in the room, and that's about it. A lot of it was what didn't work. The ice machine didn't work. There was two, instead of like general lighting in the room, there were two lamps, one of which did not work. What else didn't work? I think that's about it. Anyway, it was just kind of a creepy place to stay. And the third thing is, it's outside of town a bit. It's on the far end of town compared to the trail and where all the restaurants and things are. So you have to walk a bit. There's other accommodation options that are much better in the town. We chose it because it had laundry facilities, and the Deer Head Inn, which looked a lot nicer, did not have laundry facilities. Anyway, if you're in Delaware Water Gap, I would suggest finding different accommodations than the Poco. No. Okay, resupply. We spent $65. One of these days, I'll go through kind of a resupply shopping and show you kind of what we're resupplying with. I don't think we've done that in a long time or ever. In-town food now. Okay, so we met a friend in town. We were there for 2 days. That's a lot of meals out, and our money spent shows that we spent $317 on food out. Other leaving the town that morning, I got myself a haircut, which with this heat and humidity, my big old mop head was just getting my head was getting fried. So I got really short on the side, and I tried to leave some curls up there, but I don't know. It's still kind of frizzy. I got bed head right now. Not as bad as the bed head I used to have, I know. Anyway, so got a haircut. So $590 spent, which was a big spending week for us. And I just see on my piece of paper, I did not break that down into what that means per person per mile. One moment, please. Okay, I'm back. So we spent $590 this week. We went 98.2 miles. That breaks down to basically $6 a mile or $3 per person per mile. Total for the trip for 16 weeks has been $6,782. We went 1,330.8 miles so far. And that breaks down per person per mile to $2.54. Milestones this week. We walked down Rocksylvania. Pennsylvania is done. It's off our list. The very first part of Pennsylvania is very nice and pleasant, flat almost, not too rocky. If you remember, we did our marathon day in Pennsylvania, 26.2 miles, and it was not too challenging. The last parts of Pennsylvania are tough. The rocks are no joke, and they get tiring, and really they just make your feet ache. We're fortunate that we didn't have a whole lot of rain to contend with, because walking on those rocks in rain would be very treacherous. Okay, so the second milestone is we only have 859 miles left to this journey, and now that we're below 1,000 miles to Maine, for me, it's getting really real. It feels like, oh wow, we're really counting down, and now that our weekly average is close to 100, if not over 100 miles. 800 miles is 8 weeks. It's gonna go quickly, and part of me is like, well, we just kind of just began, and part of me is like, oh, I'm ready to get this over with. So it's kind of cool to be in this kind of weird limbo of where we are on our trip. But 859 miles left. It's pretty cool. Let's get to your questions. Pilgrim Patty says, do we ever get bored, and how do we overcome the monotony of life on the trail? Yes, I would say we do get bored. You're walking for eight 8 to 10 hours a day. For me, and I think for Chica too, your mind kind of wanders, and I find myself very, very creative on the trail. When we were in Costa Rica and I was hiking, I would do that as well. Some of the ideas that are incorporated into my books are a result of hiking. And same thing out here. We're not quite sure what life is like after this trail, after this epic journey. So we have time to really, really think on what we want to do and how that looks. So there's a lot of thinking going on. But yeah, there is a little bit of monotony, and just recently, I'd say over the past month, towards the end of a day, especially if it's a long day, since we're putting in longer miles, we'll listen to a podcast or listen to music, and that tends to help out. And then when you're, think you're bored and you turn a corner and almost step on a rattlesnake, that kind of wakes you up too. and then it's not so monotonous. You spend an hour talking about how you just about died. Let's see. Diana has a bunch of questions. Why don't I wear gaiters? Okay. Part of success on the trail is know thyself.
You're stubborn.
Chica says I'm stubborn, and that part of it is she really tried hard to convince me that gaiters were right for me. And sometimes when someone tries so hard to convince me of something, I'm kind of contrarian about it, and I just do it because I don't want to. But in the gator realm, I mainly don't wear them because I know myself quite well, and I know that putting something on every single morning on my shoe, I would just not do it. It sounds lazy, and it is lazy, but I know who I am, and I know if I had gaiters, I probably wouldn't use them anyway. They're supposed to help with rocks getting in your shoe, and I've had maybe 3 times where I've had to take my shoe off in 1,300 miles. Not a big deal. My last pair of shoes lasted over 1,100 miles. They're not, maybe I would have got another 100 miles out of them if I wore gaiters. I don't think so, but maybe. I'm quite happy with how the La Sportiva Wildcats worked out. So that's why. I know I wouldn't put them on. Although there's some pretty funky looking colors and pattern schemes that might be fun, but I think it's not for me.
I have a question.
Chica has a question.
How many times have you had to dig rocks or sticks out of your shoes because you didn't have gaiters on?
I just answered that 3 times. 3 times in 1,300 miles.
You're lying.
Chica's trying to bring me down. Okay. Diana also asks, how often do we have to pay cash only for things, or can we use our credit cards or bank cards? Up until the end of Pennsylvania, it was all credit cards or bank cards, except for one hostel that gave us like a 15% discount for cash. We paid cash then, but it was an option not to. Soon as we hit New Jersey, we started seeing cash only and ATM available in grocery stores and delis. They seem to all want cash. So I don't know how it's going to change moving forward, but that's how it is right now in a couple places we've seen already in New Jersey and in New York. Do we give money to trail angels who are giving us free sodas and helping us out? That's a great question, and it's one that we've really thought about. quite a bit, and the answer is twofold. If First off, people who are on the side of the road cooking a burger or passing out water or giving us a soda, we don't even think twice about it. We'll just take the soda, say thank you very much. We usually share a story, get a picture with them, and that's what the Trail Angel is out there to do. They want to support the team. If someone contacts us and says, "Hey, we have a place for you to stay. We want to have you, let you do laundry and give you a clean bed and place to stay." If someone offers that to us, we do not tend to offer money for that. We figure it's kind of like when you're out to lunch with a friend and you want to pay for the meal. And at the end, you grab the bill, you say, "I got this." And your friend says, "No, no, 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 let me pay." And then you say, "No, I got this." And they say, "No, no, no, let me pay." It almost cheapens the act of you wanting to be kind. You've already thought this through. You want to help this person, or you want to give something to them. And when they fight you, it kind of cheapens it. So if someone says, "Hey, I want to give you a ride. I want to slack pack you. I want to do this. I want to do this." We thank them profusely. We try to give them a shout out on video. But no, we're not tipping or giving money. If, on the other hand, we seek a trail angel out, a lot of places will have lists of trail angels, and we give someone a call and said, "Hey, can you come pick me up at the trailhead and take me X?" Or "I really need help doing this." Or if we're hitching a ride, the few times that we've hitched, we've offered money to the person who picked us up. Same thing if we were to call on a trail angel to help us out, we would offer money because we're asking for that help. So I hope that I hope that answers your question. It may not be the perfect solution to that question, but that's how we've thought about it and how we move forward on it. Is there any gear we would change if we were to start the trail over with? I really wish I would try a backpack that had a little bit more support. I think the Arc Blast from Z-Packs probably would have been a good solution for me, or maybe the what's the other one? It's called the Catalyst. But I went with the Mariposa which is a frameless, basically rucksack. It's got a little wire stay in it, as well as a sit pad that provides a little bit of support. But as I've talked about in the past, it kind of hurts my shoulder. Other than that, I'm very happy with all my gear. And guys, I know we've talked about doing a midway point gear review, and we're getting to it. It's just a lot of stuff to go over. And I'm a procrastinator, and Chica just hasn't done it yet. So let me ask Chica if she has anything she would change. One moment, please. Chica's happy with everything as well. The only thing that she would have changed, she's already changed. She changed out her sit pad from a wide one to kind of a thinner one. But that's about it. So Kathy has some questions specifically for Chica. I guess I could talk about P-rags and stuff, but I'll give the phone over to her instead. One moment.
Hello. My P-rag works most excellent. I really like it. It's just a bandana, any cotton bandana. And I go pee in the woods, and I just kind of dab myself dry. Don't like overuse it, but just use it a little bit, just so you're not like completely wet when you pull up your underwear or your shorts or whatever. And then you hang it on the back of your backpack, and I heard this before I started, and they say the sun kind of bleaches out the scent and the smell. And it's true. You don't smell it. The sun helps bleach it out, so you're fine just hanging it on the back of your backpack for like 4 or 5 days or however long you're on the trail before you get to a town to do laundry again. And then I just throw it in the laundry. It comes out clean, soft, works great.
Okay, so we'll end today's session on P-Rags. That does it for us this week, and I hope you guys tune in next week. I think Chica's got a couple uploads that she did today, and once again, keep the questions coming. We love them. If you like the videos, give us a thumbs up. If you don't, give us a thumbs down. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next week. Ciao.